The city of Chicago is dealing with concerns of teens in the downtown area versus all other communities being exposed to certain matters. As one solution, they want to institute a curfew ordinance starting at 8 p.m. only in downtown. Much of the feedback from many aldermen are not accepting of what is being imposed. Let's get into it and hear from some speakers and an alderwoman.
October 3rd last year, Mayor Johnson stated, "It is important that law enforcement has all the tools it needs in order to provide the type of safety and security Chicago deserves." To that end, I'm requesting this committee pass the ordinance. And to make its use as effective as possible, I urge this committee to allow drone use by the Chicago Police Department. The best decisions are aided by having the best information. An aerial view provides details not available at ground levels.
My name is Dan Schneider. I'm an attorney who works with Legal Action Chicago. We're a partner agency of legal aid, and we're a pragmatic organization. Our goal is to try and use our connection to the people in the city who are living in poverty, plus the lawyers and social workers who serve them, to help lawmakers like you make better decisions. And now I am opposed to this ordinance. The concern is not whether you're going to act at all. It's about whether you're going to make good policy or bad policy. But bad policy includes making legal mistakes. It includes giving away power to those who can abuse it in the future. I'm talking about a future mayor and a future superintendent we don't even know yet. If this ordinance passes as written, we are guaranteed to see it used in ways that no one in this room intends or can imagine, just as we're seeing with overbroad laws at the federal level. And when that happens, whether it's after a teen gathering or after a protest, the city will find itself again writing massive checks to plaintiffs and their lawyers.
I don't know if this is the best version of this legislation, and I hope whatever legislation passes is the best version that you are all capable of, but we see firsthand that most of the kids are good. Most of these kids coming down there are great people, and they're just looking for something to do, and God bless them for that. It's just there's a handful of people that really cause trouble, and we need a way to find those kids and handle them in a way that is constructive and, you know, hopefully benefits them and all of the people that they care about and that care about them.
We have a serious problem here in the city of Chicago, and it's violence. The mayor of the city of Chicago is not helping the citizen of Chicago. Now, I emphasize the word citizen, natural born people, taxpayers. So here's the thing. We have to figure out what to do to reduce crime. This is a serious problem. The mayor has handcuffed the police long enough. Now, I don't want to say this, but I will. I'm a share ride driver. I had to carry a concealed carry arm. I had to arm myself just in case of a carjacker come up at me. And if the citizens of Chicago have to stop the crime, the police can't, then we're going to have to take matters in our own hands and stuff. So it's up to the mayor and the council member, because you all are responsible to make sure that the citizens in your ward are safe. It's up to the mayor to make sure that the citizens of Chicago are safe, not the illegal immigrants.
Hi, y'all. I'm here to speak against the curfew because it don't make any sense. I know like the people who are for the curfew don't really care. They just hate black people, and that's cool. That ain't my problem. But kids ain't got guns for no reason, bro. Like things are really serious out here. My friends ain't doing stuff just for no reason, bro. Like I grew up in North Riverside. We had the mall right there, and they had a curfew. All it did was make us sneaky. There are literal wars going on in our city, and the only thing we do is continue to increase policing, contrary to what folks are saying about Brandon Johnson. We continue to increase their funding, yet when violence prevention shows it works, we decrease their funding. That don't make no type of sense at all. So like, let's quit just like policing these kids. Let's make sure that they actually feel welcome in our areas. Let's make sure that there are adults there who know these kids and actually like, hey, if something pops off, I know how to talk to you. I know your mom. I know your dad. I ain't just trying to throw you in a cage where you will only be treated like a criminal, where you will only be tortured, and then you gonna come out, and that's all you gonna know, bro. I know, again, because I've seen it. I've seen this violence. I've been around this violence. The police have never stopped it. That's been a 400-year experiment, and yet we still dealing with it.
You know what we hear on the news, city council, you all planning on how to protect downtown from teen trends. You know what? We don't hear from on the news how you all, city council, aren't planning on how to keep the youth safe in our communities. We don't hear plans for teens in Austin, Lawndale, Little Village, Back of the Yards, Inglewood, Roseland, Bronzeville, South Shore, Chapman, Washington Park, or any other communities in Chicago. We need the city council to pass the Peace Book, Treatment Not Trauma, EAT, and other programs that will provide youth with job services, mental health care, and entertainment. This, along with peacekeeping and restorative practices, is how we keep our communities safe and stop the teen trends. Pass the Peace Book and not the unconstitutional curfew law. Thank you. And one more thing. There's a people that's not paying attention. These kids around, things are happening because of the people not paying attention. You just look the other way every time.
Mr. Blakemore, what party are all these people out here that you're looking at? Blue, they're all Democrats. Where do you know Mr. Hopkins from? He's a recycle from over at the county, John Daly, try to set me up and say, Christina, I had a rich white lady friend of mine carry me to court and follow me and I was found innocent. So he's a recycle. This is the old Daily machine. These are the sellouts. Oh, I know you. I live in your ward. You gonna try to move me out of that building? I believe y'all tried to kill me over at County Hospital. That's why I don't want to go back to the hospital. I want to come right down here and die right here. Right here. I know you. You're no good. I've been out here a long time fighting for you black people. Y'all don't know me. I've been out here a long time fighting people just like that. I'm not a pop-up activist. I got history here. Do you know me? Out of here. Now you can talk your own.
This year, we're doubling down and training 200. That's 200 young people ready to lead, empower, and uplift their peers. We urge City Council to stand with us, pass the Peace Book, invest in events and spaces where teens feel seen, valued, and safe, not criminalized.
Thank you. Alderwoman Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What I've mostly heard during this committee hearing is us demonizing young people. And I'm real disappointed in us for two reasons. Number one, we know the young people who are going down there don't look like you all, they look like me. That's number one. Number two, we didn't use every tool we already had in the toolbox to kind of fix this issue or this problem. This is like putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound. And let me tell you why. We spend millions of dollars in summer youth jobs, on youth, violence prevention, and we have a youth council. Were they at the table when you all had any of these conversations? Don't all answer me at once. They were not. There were plenty of things that we could ask. Where is DFSS, who controls some of the money in some of the institutions that we give money to? Where are they in where's the health department? None of that. Where are the young people that are even supposed to be here? Because we had this at the time, of course, where they can't come up and advocate for themselves. And so I'm real disappointed because every time y'all demonize young people, y'all always start with this, we gotta do something. This ain't the something we should be doing. This is not it. This makes no sense. And we didn't do our due diligence to work with everybody. Where's the Park District? Where is CTA? None of those, we're doing silo work to fix something that happens every summer for generations in our city. Who is the person that starts these teen trends? Where are they from? Are they a young person?
There's been several, I think, promoters identified across all the city, suburbs,
Suburbs.
I
So
think.
people who don't even live in the city are doing some of these trends. Can you tell me how much we're spending on social media through CPD?
No, I would get that answer probably through the chair.
Please do, because we see them come up on social media. They tell you what they're going to do. And this whole thing about young people having resources, I don't got a Chuck E. Cheese, I don't got a bowling alley, I don't got a movie theater. I don't have any of those things in my community. I have a bunch of park districts with programming that does not support teens. What happened to we do an open gym at the park district? Those things kind of work. We're not using all our tools. We're basically saying, let's do some more policing. Well, we already spent 40% of our budget on policing young people. And I have not heard you all say what actually happens. Alderperson Fuentes asked the question, what happens when a parent doesn't pay? Does that young person sit in juvenile detention? What happens?
Again, that's going to be out of jurisdiction of the police department. That's the fine and how they recover that fine.
So y'all came here to ask people for their vote for some things that you all don't have the answer on. With all due respect, Alderman Hopkins, I always tell people that you're one of the smartest people that's sitting here. And I appreciate the work that you've done on the missing girl. This ain't ready and this is not the it we should be doing. I've asked the city since I've sat in this seat in 2019, why are we not talking about what the summer program is in January? Here it is, we in April, almost May, and we're not just talking about an issue that's supposed to happen. Do y'all have this same energy that y'all have for our young people, for those folks who at Lollapalooza? I know y'all don't. I know y'all don't. How many deaths have happened down there? How many times have they taken over the street after they leave? How much are y'all spending on resources on that? Absolutely. Crickets in here. And so we haven't done everything we could do. And don't get me wrong, let's not act like y'all don't already send police officers downtown when there's something going on. Y'all did that all during COVID. And that's something that came from the police. That didn't come from Alderwoman Taylor. Y'all took resources from the community to make sure that y'all protect y'all lovely downtown. Because that's what y'all really care about. And just hey young people. Because that's how I feel about all of this. That's all I've heard. Young people, young people, young people. What have you done for them? Besides criminalize them, where are they going? Now, as a young person, I'm about to be 50. I don't know what they think. I don't know what they want. And I'm not going to even pretend I know how they think. But you're talking about young people who were in COVID for how many years? Like that does not have a... We're talking about mental health for police officers. What about mental health for the young people in our communities? But that ain't even been part of the conversation in here. When you talk about OEMC, how many people are actually downloaded the app so that they know that there is a curfew downtown that's already in place? How many people get those alerts? Have we did a push to do that? No. There is an app that DFSS came out that is them literally stealing parts of the peace book that they've used. Can you tell me how many young people have downloaded and where those young people come from?
Chris Patino, OEMC. For the OEMC app in particular, or the DFS?
The OEMC app and the DFSS app that they got that's part of parts of the peace book.
I'd be happy to provide that to the chair, Alderman.
Y'all should have came with it. You talking about people who do youth work. Everybody in my office is under 40. I'm the only old lady in there. And I literally have to talk to them because I don't understand. I'm not gonna pretend. There's not one young person here under 20 who we talking about we've had a conversation with, not even with their parents. And then we gonna demonize them because they gotta work 2 and 3 jobs because they can't afford to live in the city that they love. Like, we can't seriously be thinking about passing any of this. And then we're talking about whose responsibility is it? It's all of our responsibilities. And I wasn't invited to a meeting. I'm the chair of the education committee. Neither was Jessie that I know of. She is the person who is the subcommittee on youth. That was not a conversation that's had with us. Not one, but we always talking about us and what we doing at City Hall. What we doing is being a circus. That's what we being. Universal and Ringling Brothers, because we continue to do the same things and expect different outcomes. All I can see is us using this police presence and this downtown, and the young people who gonna get hurt and locked up are young people that look like me. That's all I see. Nothing more, nothing less. And so what I would have liked to see, Alderman Hopkins, is us have a bigger conversation with where are the experts? I don't see one youth expert in that box. I see a bunch of lawyers. I see police officers. I see people who do not work with young people. Where are those folks? Because they should have been here. They should have been able to weigh in. And so we looked at this from we looked at this from the wrong way. This was not, and don't get me wrong, I am not like every other person. Downtown is not a haven for me. That is not a safe space for me. It has never been, even when I was a young person. That's not where I wanted to go to. And we're talking about safety during the summer. It wasn't young people who set up a car show and a stripper pole in the middle of Washington. They weren't young people. What about these car caravans that y'all do nothing about? What about those? What about those takeovers? What about the takeover to the lake? Where in certain parts that you go to, the police are telling you got to move at a certain time. But in other parts of the city, it's okay as long as they're not doing anything. Well, that's what it seems like. And so I've made very clear where I stand with this. And I would love for us to have another conversation and not pass this. Because I don't think you're wrong for saying what happens when they're a takeover, what we should see happening. And you all have those tools. And so to add something else that is going to over-police our communities again, and that's going to charge, because you didn't say it, but you said it without saying it. It's going to cost us some more money. Are we already over in overtime currently?
Yeah, I think we don't
Anybody?
answer overtime. I think the general counsel answered earlier that we don't discuss our overtime budget at this time.
To clarify, that has to come from the Department of Finance. They're the ones who calculate overtime.
How many incidents have happened in these areas that you're talking about this year? This year and last year. You probably don't have it. Can you get it to me through the chair?
Absolutely.
And my problem with all of this is we have these open conversations so that our community understands what actually is going on. And so for y'all not to have some of these answers, it's ludicrous to me. We doing the same thing we've done for years. We implement without asking. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This is and still remain an open issue with no resolutions since the aldermen are not in agreement to bring this matter to a vote.